21. Episode 21. Coming off of a really great one and interesting one, so we'll see what we got.
I think it's going to be a little arc. It's going to swoop back up here.
Hopefully.
Bridge to Captain Picard.
Go ahead.
Captain, we've just picked up a distress call from a Ferengi shuttle.
Set a course to intercept.
Hey, all right.
Timing of our ceremony with Ulrich is critical. It cannot be delayed.
We'll be at the rendezvous on schedule. Don't worry.
No, they won't.
Boost your output, lock onto the two Ferengi on board the shuttle. We may need to attempt a long-range transport.
Standing by.
Energize.
Well, they're dead. Oh, nice.
I wonder if it's the same two that were stranded from earlier in that one episode. Remember?
Oh!
Escort our Ferengi guests to quarters. Not too close to mine.
From the price?
That was too easy.
All right, well, it's not them, because I feel like it would have been the first thing they said. But, okay, Ferengi episode.
All right, season 5.
Run holodeck program Krios 1.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, Jesus. Really lax on the security these days.
Worf, where you at? Oh, Worf, watch out for those barrels.
What are you doing?
Jesus Christ.
This is a misunderstanding. I was looking for a barber shop. Apparently, I made an incorrect turn at it.
A barbershop, you don't have hair. You're literally hairless.
Get him out of here. Confine them both to their quarters. Put a guard in the door.
Oh my God, is it literally the woman that the two races were fighting over? Or the two brothers?
Uh-oh, I think Picard likes her.
That's fucking Jean from X-Men.
Oh, is that who it is? Oh, it is!
Ulrich Vault.
Oh, no.
That's an interesting connection.
No, come on.
Oh. That's an unfortunate turn of events.
Like her, I'm an empathic metamorph. First female metamorph born on my world for over 100 years.
Metamorph.
A mutant.
What the fuck, dude?
With the ability to sense what a potential mate wants. What he needs.
Riker, get out of here.
Females are born only once in 7 generations, so obviously they are greatly sought after as mates.
Explains the Ferengi's interest.
Oh, God, Ferengi. Gotta get our hands... Wait, didn't they find females disgusting or something?
Yeah, but it can morph into what he wants.
Come on, Riker, escort her to quarters. There's no need for you to travel in the cargo bay.
They're going to have sex.
Yep. And what if Picard said, and Riker, no sex.
He should have, honestly. Riker, keep it in your pants for this one.
My body is producing an unusually elevated level of what you would call pheromones.
Yeah, you're done, dude.
You can lower the lights on a verbal command. If you have any questions, you can just ask the computer.
Oh my God, dude! He folded immediately.
I'm beginning to sense the elevated pheromones you were referring to.
You were curious, weren't you?
Curious isn't exactly how I'd describe it.
It's gonna be a long voyage.
We'll try to make you as comfortable as possible. Riker to bridge. If you need me, I'll be in holodeck 4.
Oh, he's pulling a Barkley.
That slave trader who calls himself an ambassador, he has her confined to her quarters. She is a virtual prisoner in there.
All right, fine, good. Let's throw the Prime Directive to the winds. Let's detain her here against her will. Let's...
Why are they like having a meal arguing like a married couple?
I wanted to bring that up. I love how they're having a meal together.
Yeah.
Well, it is your ship. Maybe there are a few things you should find out about.
I'll talk to her about it.
Lovely breakfast.
Oh, breakfast, okay.
Okay. Married couple without any of the benefits of being married.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, guys, you know, you can wear civilian clothing if you're eating dinner together, but it was breakfast, so it makes more sense. They're going to work.
The jacket's back.
Are you comfortable?
Reasonably, under the circumstances.
Great shot here, Cliffball.
You care about my well-being. Thank you, Captain.
She has such an interesting response to things like that.
Dude, I think he's gonna fold too.
Are all captains' lives so solitary, or just yours?
Don't.
What?
Don't do this.
Oh, he can sense it.
I'll speak to the ambassador about easing your restrictions.
Thank you, Captain.
All right. Now imagine all that, but then some fairy dust came in and went into one of the...
No, the fairy dust in this episode is the Ferengi.
Yeah. Well, luckily, they nipped that in the bud at the beginning. I mean, they're gone now, right? That's over. There's a little bait and switch.
We have reached the designated coordinates for the conference and await the arrival of Chancellor Ulrich.
They are using that effect a lot, the slowing down
Yeah,
and warp
yeah.
effect.
You cannot confine her against her will, not on board this ship, Ambassador. She is requesting some freedom of movement, and I intend to give it to her.
I don't think she even requested it.
Every man on the ship will be fighting over her.
Not every man.
Okay, well, not everyone
Chaperone?
is as virtuous as you,
I would
Picard.
be pleased to escort you around.
Oh,
Data!
Data!
I shall be busy making arrangements for the conference.
I'm very knowledgeable about Volt. I could be helpful.
Data's like, no, you weren't.
Mr. Data here will see to your every comfort, if you will excuse me.
I am fully functional.
Ultimate twist is if she can get Data to fold. It's happened before.
Oh!
Yeah, so then anyway, she started making out with me.
Oh, thanks for chaperoning me, Data. Can you take me where the men are? Oh, come on, guys. Who are these fucking clowns?
Did they come along with the old guy?
That's what I'm wondering.
Why don't we find out what else we have in common?
Extremely rude behavior.
Mr. Data's protecting me tonight.
Protecting you from what?
From you, I guess.
I do appreciate that they gave all these guys individualized makeup.
Yeah, yeah.
The crowd seemed a bit too ebullient for comfort. Perhaps you would enjoy a nice, quiet visit to the Arboretum.
She was locked on to Worf there.
Oh, shit. I must follow.
Kamala, you are one day away from an arranged mating. Why would you want me to visit you in your quarters?
I said a visit. I didn't ask you to make love to me.
But now that you mention it,
My empathic powers can only sense a man of deep passion and conviction. So disciplined. I'm simply curious to know what lies beneath.
Nothing. Are you doing this, Kamala?
There can be only one reason. Because some part of you wants me to.
well, I mean, he's a man.
But the fact she can have any guy she wants, but the one guy who's like, nope, it's like, all right.
Yeah, true.
The bribe is 10,000 more.
The Dugil Gold, the purest in the galaxy.
I do think these are the same actors from The Price.
I wouldn't doubt it.
We have a ship waiting to rendezvous with us in 3 hours. We can all transport off together.
I shall pass it on to Captain Picard.
You can't do that.
What are you
let's
doing?
discuss this.
Go off me.
Oh! Oh, shit!
Oh, no!
He's just dead?
Captain's log supplemental. The Ferengi have been dispatched via shuttle.
Oh, now they're gone.
Torch Squad.
Torch Claw.
Shy?
No, just not very good.
Thank you for letting down your guard. If only for a moment.
I feel like you kind of ruined it by saying something.
Oh, she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your empathic abilities can sense that.
Entire orchestra.
Plus a few of Balti's horns that sound like braying, targy moon beasts. They are set to soothe the nerves of Balti's men.
Picard, don't fall for it!
My mother never even heard me play.
She's pulling out everything in the playbook.
But I find it ironic on the eve of this ceremony, which I've spent my entire life preparing for, that I should meet a man like you.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Picard, don't forget about the Prime Directive you were yelling at Beverly about.
I'm sure she'll be satisfactory. Between you and me, Captain, I am far more interested in the trade agreements.
Interesting. I noticed that him and Kamala have the same stuff here.
Yeah, I think they're all the same species or something.
I don't think Briam had that.
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Yeah. He was wearing a hat, though.
Oh,
But
okay.
then after he was injured, you'd see it when he was on the med bay.
Oh, okay.
Am I one of the most unique you've ever met? Please say yes.
Damn.
A nice thing to say.
Desperate.
Well, have I not done everything possible to discourage this?
Maybe that's the perfect way to attract a metamorph.
Hey, you called that.
I don't want to use you as other men.
But you're not other men.
You're Jean-Luc fucking Picard.
I should go. And you have an appointment tomorrow morning, early.
Light years away.
Kamala, I am not fucking you.
I need to know that he left. Okay, I think he left.
Time to go back home to the wife. No, I didn't have sex with her.
But it was your idea. That was not my idea.
I was against this whole thing.
Evelyn, may I take off the uniform for a moment?
Captain.
I need to talk to a friend. Actually, it's all your fault. Can't help thinking how she will be with him, how she will change to accommodate him.
I wish I knew how I could help.
Perhaps I just needed a shoulder.
Well, it's there for you, Jean-Luc. It always has been.
That's nice, but I feel like maybe you could have talked to Troy about it. You know, it's kind of her job.
Yeah, but I like that they're bringing back this dynamic between these two after it's been on the shelf for...
But, it seems like it's more of just like a friend zone platonic dynamic at this point.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Even though I guess they eat breakfast together every day.
Having bonded with you, I've learned the meaning of duty. He'll never know. I'm still empathic. I will be able to please him.
So basically she bonded to him with her gimmick, and now she's going to have to fake it with this other guy?
Seems like it, yeah.
I am for you, Ulrich Volt.
Where's the officiant? Damn. That's it, huh?
You worked with her, side by side, for days. How could you resist her?
Ambassador, have a safe trip home.
Damn. And I see the marks on his head now. I just thought it was part of his skin because he's an old man.
Oh, yeah.
Energize.
You don't say energize.
Huh.
Damn.
Do you think they banged? No?
I don't think so.
Just emotionally bonded.
The bonding?
You same time? Or you got a thing, or?
Yeah, but...
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
B for the bonding?
I put D question mark?
Okay.
Because here's the thing. I don't like this episode, but I'm very conflicted about it. I think I gotta watch this one again.
Me too.
Because I don't know how to feel right now. But for right now, it's a D.
Okay.
All right, well, we watched it again. You gave this a B. I gave it a D, but I was D question mark, kind of confused how I felt about it. What are you thinking right now?
I'm still confused. I should like this. I should love this. But the more I think about it, I don't know how I feel about it. It's very similar to a TNG Season 2 type episode, like with the deaf guy and his 3 people, where we're just following along Kamala here and how she interacts with everybody. And her one vice is Picard. And is this whole episode just to prove Picard won't fold? Is that the point? Just to show how virtuous he is, but he's, come close to temptation. He's, the forbidden fruit is right there, but he still won't do it. That maybe another captain would, or that everyone else did, but besides Data, of course. I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I mean, I think I get what they're trying to say, but in terms of an episode of television, I mean, there was no B plot. Would I have liked the B plot? No.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I should love this. It's like, oh, it's just one character, and it's just this one relationship. We get fun stuff with Beverly and Picard, like they're an old married couple. They go to breakfast together and all this, but rewatching it last night, I'm like, I don't know if I like this.
Yeah. I rewatched it, and I really found myself, having trouble getting invested in it. It's not one that I think I'm gonna love to revisit a lot or anything. And I think, a D is pretty harsh because that's like the first negative. You get into the negatives gradings, and it's like, I don't want to say this is a bad episode because there was nothing about it that was like, oh, but I think the problem with episodes that are so focused on a guest character is that, you have to be a Timison or you have to be a Kalar, to really carry that. And while, Jean from X-Men was fine and she even had charm and did the role well and everything, the story just like wasn't strong enough, especially in the second half, to really hit those heights of episodes we love for me. And I find myself liking all the stuff with our characters that she just happens to be involved in, like the moment where she comes onto Riker, or the moment where she growls at Worf, or Data's protecting her at 10 forward. Like, those are nice scenes. And then once it jumps into the thick of the story with Picard and trying to get Picard to be seduced, I get what they're going with, it kind of like what you explained, and it's a nice story for Picard, kind of a downer ending for him, which I guess is good for his character. But as an episode, I'm just like bored, and I just couldn't really get invested watching it for the reaction and on my rewatch. My favorite scene is probably with Picard and Beverly. Like, no shocker, it's like their cool scene where it's just Picard venting to her and her being there for him. Like, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, it was fine.
Yeah, it was nice because they haven't touched on those two at all, really. A little bit with the Violations episode, with the re-death of Jack Crusher. But everything else here, I mean, I think I gave it a B because it ended on a note I liked. I loved the ending where the old man is like, I'm 200 years old, so I'm able to resist it. But you were with her for 3 days. How did you do it? Have a nice trip.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, those downer endings really get to me. Not saying I love misery and death at all. I love the optimistic future. Don't get that, twisted. I just love that, oh man, type ending. But after thinking about it, I think this is a C. This is just a middle of the road.
Yeah, and I think I am going to be there as well, just because, in a rewatch, again, there was nothing really about this that was bad. So to give it a D, I feel like I would have to dislike the episode or not care about it. And while I don't necessarily care a lot for the main bulk of it, there were good moments in it, and there was stuff that I'm going to remember. The Beverly and Picard scene when it starts off and he's like, can I take off the uniform for a moment? Beverly's like, Captain, just like funny little moments like that.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a good one. But to me, it's just C. It's just that baseline. Like, they did a story. It was fine.
Well, so, I'm glad we met in the middle there and agreed. Very odd watching. But here's the thing. Do you think she was telling the truth? When she's like, oh, I wish I could have bonded with... Whatever she said, but as I've bonded with you, and Picard realizes that... Because she's in this final stage of arachnophobia, or whatever it is, whatever it's called, emancipate... I forget what it's called, but she's like, oh, I was taken out of stasis too early, so now I'm bonded with you, but I'm going to go be with this guy.
Oh, is it metamorph? Or she's a metamorph?
She's a metamorph, yeah.
I forget what the thing was called. But...
Now, do you think she was actually telling the truth there, or do you think she was just... Because throughout the entire episode, she's pulling every card out of her book. It's like, oh, looking at the things in his office. Oh, I know about this. I've learned about this. And Picard starts to become a human being for a second, and he starts smiling, and then he realizes. So do you think she was actually telling the truth there, or she was just pulling everything out of her ass to...
That's a good point. I can almost say that it would definitely make sense for her to be lying. And rewatching the episode, one thing I did notice was, I believed her love for Picard or her infatuation with Picard much less, actually. Because, as soon as she shows up, she's coming on to Riker. She's coming on to Worf, like everyone there. And even for the stuff played for comedy, like the 10 Forward segment. But, when she goes to Picard, it's like, why should I feel like it's not just because he's a guy? Like, because she's the guy, she's talking to him, and he's the only one coming to her quarters. Like, once she gets put in her quarters, he's the only one visiting her. So, like, why else, would she like him? I just feel like I believed in her motivations less, which gives more credence to what you're saying, for sure.
Picard even mentions this, when it's just her and I, it's... the best thing ever, but she changes as soon as the next guy walks into the room. So he's completely aware of this, but he's also fallen for her because she's so damn good at it. And I don't think she's doing it to be malicious. I think it's just...
her nature.
Her nature. It's who she is.
I did also appreciate all the individualized makeup of all the guys in 10 Forward.
Oh,
just for a little scene. That was nice. And I liked that overall nothing was like over the top or unbelievable. The scene with Riker, the scene with Worf, Data, all of it, it fit their characters. It's always nice when our characters don't have to, act unrealistic to fit the guest, like in my opinion in the fake Jim Carrey episode. Here it wasn't as bad as that, and that's why I would rate this higher than that. I would, give this the C. Nothing about it was offensive, but I feel like I feel like I'm trying to reach a word count on an essay here. Like I really I don't have anything else to say.
And I guess we can get down to nitty gritty here. I mean, not to be contradictory towards myself for not liking Kirk being racist towards Klingons, but these Ferengi come on board, and they're immediately acting goofy right off the bat. And it's like, just to be a little safe. I mean, this is for anybody coming on board the ship that's not a pre-planned entrance. There's got to be security measures for everyone who comes on the ship, especially when you're transferring this cargo. I mean, the old man said, like, oh, no, it's not anything dangerous like that, but I want security on it. Like, okay. And these two Ferengi are able to just, walk all about the Enterprise and into this room and knock this thing over. And, like, if that was like a bomb or something, game over. And, and when Worf walks into the cargo bay, what are you doing? It's like,
yeah.
I don't know, maybe, I get it, it's the optimistic future, everyone's nice, no one locks their doors, but it's just a little bit of security.
Yeah, security is their biggest
and the worst
flaw.
And the worst scene, I think, is when the two Ferengi approach Ulrich, or no, the other guy's Ulrich, approach the old man, and oh, hey, maybe we can get that. Like, I'm gonna tell Picard what you're doing, and the guy tries to leave, and shove the old man, and he goes hands first into the table, it breaks, and then he's just on the hospital bed. It's like, come on.
Terrible bump. Yeah, all the Ferengi stuff I had kind of expunged from my mind. They were just a plot progression tool, and Ferengi at this point, it's like, there's been some good episodes with them, mostly bad. Whenever they show up, it's kind of like, I'm not instantly turned off, but I'm just kind of like, okay, like, let's see what it is. Very surprising, though, this is, I think, the first time where it's like they show up, they're a huge part of the beginning, and then they disappear halfway through it, and they're just gone. And it's just like, oh, yeah, remember Ferengi were in this episode?
I mean, that just goes to show how little of a threat they are now. I mean, maybe they don't even think much of them. It's like, whatever, just don't break anything. And then they break something. All right, you're going to the brig.
Well, they gave it a B, a little bit better than us, patron deflation, because we got 45% B, 28% C in second place. So 60% A. There were a few that loved it, 3% S, probably some Picard fans would be my guess, but 7% D, even 1% E. So definitely all over the board here on this one, which makes sense. I'll read this one from Chanel. Rolled my eyes a lot during this one. Perfect woman whose only function is to please a man. Yeah, okay. A writer's fantasy brought to life. It's very interesting. Imagine it being gender swapped. Imagine the episode was a man, like the same species, but it's flipped. So it's a man born once every 7 generations, and he is only there to please a woman, and the main person in the story was either Beverly or Troy. That would have been quite interesting.
That would be quite interesting. I might have liked to see that more, maybe. Just him rizz up all the female characters and, like, butt shoulders with Riker or someone. That'd be fun to see. I noticed that, born every 7 generations. And I noticed Worf, when he said he was going to be, lose his family honor, that would last for 7 generations as well. Is there a connection there? I don't know, probably. Probably just convenient.
And I'm imagining a 10-forward scene where it's Data protecting this male metamorph from all of the females on board.
All the women just swarming him.
Yeah.
Or I want to see Guinan, that famous scene with Riker and Guinan, where Riker rizzes Guinan up, and then this other guy comes in and, like, steals Guinan away from him, and they're tug of war over Guinan. That'd be a fun scene.
That could definitely be fun, yeah.
And it ends in a sword fight.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the fact that it was a woman, but I definitely think the less typical would have been if it was a man, and that could have been a lot of fun. But then obviously we don't get the Picard story, so.
Mm-hmm. Stephen Linden says, TNG does Elan of Troyes.
Oh, do you remember that episode from TOS?
As soon as you start talking about it, I'll remember. I got it.
There's a woman who looks like Doja Cat, and Kirk has to transport her to her wedding.
Yes.
And she charms people.
Yeah, but isn't she acting like all bratty on the Enterprise? Is that
yeah.
Yeah, I remember her.
Yeah, definitely different in the mechanics of the episode, but similar vibe, especially with her charming people. Is kind of the same here, except here she's just pleasing men through what she can, with her pheromones. I guess pheromones is kind of like a natural charm type thing, so.
True.
Paul says, this is a hot take, but this is a personal S tier for me. Something about the character and acting of and between Famke Janssen and Picard is exceptional. Their interplay is so believable, and Famke Janssen is so attractive that I effectively become enchanted during this episode all the way through. Yeah, I mean, everyone has those particular ones they like. I mean, I gave the Ardra episode an S tier for my personal, not necessarily the quality of the episode. So I get it. What'd you think about their kind of chemistry? I thought it was pretty good.
Oh yeah, they worked off each other really well. I can see why people think that. I wonder if that had anything to do with X-Men casting later on. It's like, oh, these two worked well. I wonder if they remembered each other. Oh, I remember we were on that TV show, that shitty, that sci-fi crap. But no, everything was totally believable. But watching it under the lens of, oh, she's bullshitting, or just saying, like, nothing about her felt real. To the point where, like, Picard's like, well, what are you like when no one's around? And she's like, well, I feel alone. It's like, well, all right.
Yeah. I thought their chemistry was really good too, but I think it was mostly on Famke Janssen. I think her chemistry was great with literally everyone in the episode, so that kind of goes along with what Paul says.
That's the character.
Surprised she's not in more stuff, at least that I've seen. Like, outside of X-Men and this, I've seen her in probably a couple other things that I'd really have to think about what it even was. Like, she's not a household name or anything.
Shaz D says, got to say, this one is a snooze fest, and the idea of dolphins on the ship was and still is dumb as fuck. Oh yeah, they just threw away the dolphins on there, huh? I took it as, holodeck, like go distract them. I don't know.
This one's from Benjamin. I may be in the minority, but I've come to really love this episode. The idea of wanting to be the best version of yourself when you're around a particular person is such a beautiful expression metaphor of what it means to truly be in love with someone. The ending always breaks my heart a little. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that obviously there's something to that. I love sad transporter endings. The one with Timothy being another example. TOS did a bunch of them. Emissary with Kalar, I love the someone beams away and our characters are left standing there, sad or whatever the case. It's always good.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Beverly on this one. I don't think it's right that someone should have to change who they are or be the best versions of themselves for their partner. You should do it for yourself. That's another thing. Yeah. Beverly was heated about this shit. She was mad. Mad at Picard. As if it was his fault.
Yeah, I think there's virtuously, you're correct. I would agree with you. I think there's a natural human instinct though of like the want to be better for somebody. It doesn't necessarily mean you should only for that person, but definitely like when you're around, or it doesn't even have to be a romantic thing either all the time. It could be just someone that you would admire or whatever. They're you don't want to disappoint somebody. So yeah, I get it.
Got to read this one from Timothy. So Jean Grey is practically throwing herself at Professor Xavier here, but as soon as he winds up in a wheelchair, she loses interest. Typical ableism.
Damn.
The episode is like a reimagined version of Elena Troyes, but better executed in my opinion. Famke and Patrick's performance is elevated a lot from what I remember. The ending is pretty sad, knowing she bonded with Picard and will spend the rest of her life thinking of him, but will most likely never see him again. I still think it's bullshit.
Season 5 takes flight.